Good afternoon and welcome to the stream. I am well, Stormrun Gaming. Day's going well so far. It'll go better if I actually manage to do what I'm intending to do this afternoon, of course. But we shall see if that is the case. Now, what we actually need to do here, if we were watching last night, is we've kind of screwed things up. But that's okay. Because we're going to fix it. And the reason is this thing here. Okay. Now, interesting thing is we need these montages. Now, this delay is always going to be true. Okay. And we need this data to come from somewhere else. We need it to come from the wildlife data. Okay? So, with that in mind, we need to look into our structs within our wildlife data. Okay? And we have a struct wildlife. And it actually has got the animation to play. Okay? So, we can also say delay montage for this boolean here, and we're going to save that. Okay, now next thing we need to do here is we need to pull in the wildlife data. Then we need to break it. Okay. Oh, but that's not, you'll notice, this is not the wildlife data. Now, the question is, it's this one here. Okay. And this is the one that we actually need. Now, the other way of doing this is to do it in the wildlife data struct. Okay? This is the struct dead animal. So this wildlife is struct wildlife data. Okay? Now the question is, where is this? Well, it's not that one, right? Which is good. So that would suggest it's going to be in here. Which is. Okay, so what we should really do here is new variable, new variable. Okay, we didn't want that many. This is going to be delay montage. That's going to be the bool. And this is going to be death montage. Okay. And that is going to be an montage. Okay. So we're going to save that. Then we're going to go in here and we've got our stag. Okay. And there's our stag. Then that's going to be a tick. Save that. Right, and we'll just tick all of these. We'll still to make the montages for the other ones, okay? So we'll do that in a second. Once we get basically the stag working, we'll transfer it across. Right, so we don't want this. We do want this. Okay. So that is going to go to there. That is going to go to there. That is going to get deleted. That is going to hide unconnected pins. Then we're going to copy that because we're going to use it again in a minute. Then that's going to go in there. Compile. Okay. So now that we've done that, we can basically replace the other ones. Okay. So if we press play, this is going to fail again, which is fine. We're going to cancel that. We're going to go to our goat. Right. We're going to delete these. We're going to paste. Then we're going to join these up. I've got the sticky mouse disease again. Right. We need that one to go to there. And there we go. That's the goat done. Okay. Next thing we're going to do, press play again, it's going to fail again, but then we can open our door and do exactly the same thing. Okay, delete that, paste it back in, drag this up a bit, okay, if we drag this over here a bit, makes it easier to join it up. Do that, do that, drag it back into position. There we go. Okay. Going well. Press play again. Cancel that. Okay, where's the error about? It's here. And I'm going to find out where this is actually going here. So that's going there, that's going there, then that can go okay, so not quite right yet. This item data we're going to have to make struct. Right. Okay, so we're going to have to go to there, and then we're going to have to check this out, right, because this doesn't look like it's going to be the thing for us. Struct interactable base data. Right, so we need to work out what this particular part we're doing. And if we use the item data again, because if we don't, which we don't, we don't need to set this. Okay, we're going to try and see if this is actually required or not. Right, because I am not 100% convinced that we need that at this point. We may, but we can find out. Right. So we've now got it compiled. Right, and this is all to do with dishing out the food, right? When you pick up the item from the dead animal, right? But the thing we need to do now right is actually set the animation montage to play. Now, this is actually wrong. No, it's not. It's actually okay. The problem right, okay, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to check to see what happens, okay? Right. Helps if I actually manage to shoot something, of course, but... Right, so that's not going to do anything, right? Which is cool, but the good thing is that it's lying down dead. That is the good thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to check to see that we can still pick stuff up, etc, etc. That's good. Right. So there's something not quite right there. But that's okay. We're going to fix this bit by bit. Okay, now the interesting part here was that we did pick it up. Or did we? Wait a minute. Right, wait a minute. Let's see what part isn't working. Okay, which specific parts. I'm not expecting it to I'm not expecting it to the animation to work, right? The death animation. That's kind of what I expect to happen at this point, right? I'll show you why in a minute. Now, the interesting part is when we use it, we don't play the animation. But we do the thing. Now, the funny thing is, I actually think that this isn't going to work either. Actually, it did. Well, colour me a bit surprised there, but anyway. Let's check on this one. Right, we can't do that until we pick up. Well, the thing is here, actually, right, we've picked up this, which is good. Right, it's not quite right, because we've been screwing about with this, but that's okay. Okay. So, the thing is, we need to go to our stag animation blueprint. Okay. You like what? Sorry. What do you like? At this point, we want this to play. Okay, so we want to check on this to see when it gets fired. So we press play. And it never gets fired. Wow. Wowza. Well, that was a surprise. Print. String. Now that is wild if it never gets fired. Right. So it is saying true. Okay. Now, so this must fire. Okay. And this I changed that last night. Yeah, it's on full body. Right. So that's okay. So, back to here. you want this. Right? Now, I'm just wondering, right? And we plug this in here. Now, I'm just wondering if we can do that. Apparently not. Right. Okay. Let's do it the other way round, shall we? Yeah, you can't pull that in. Let's try that. As I said, this isn't my strong point. Animation blueprints, which is becoming rather apparent. And that doesn't work. Okay. Let's try. Right, so we're going to be using that, right? If it's the true we don't loop. Let's see what that does, shall we? Apparently sod all. That definitely works. It helps if you plug the darn thing in. Right, I'm an idiot. It's official. It kinda works. Okay, we could do this a couple of ways, right? We could... It works, right? So that's working nice. Get up. Right. There's that little quirk that happens. What I want to know is, it's 2.33 seconds, right? So, I'm thinking right in the AI, if we set this to 2.33333, save that. Or basically, if we do this whole thing, we don't wait at all, right? But we do the waiting and stuff in here. Now, I'm wondering if the 2.3333 thing fixes this issue. I'm not sure it will. It kinda does. Okay. So that's good. So now that we know that that works, what we can do is basically do it with our other animation blueprints. Right, so if we open this, we basically delete that. Unlikely. It's not about skills and stuff. It's more about I don't think I even need this part. Right. No, I don't think we're going to have a level up ability system. No. It's for lots of things. Everything to do with animations and stuff, right? And if animations trigger other things, and you can also amend models and stuff. Animation montages are best used as like one hit stuff, right? Whereas the other animation stuff, like your normal animations, are better in the animation blueprint for like a particular behavior, right? I'll show you what I mean in a second. Yeah, we don't have this yet, so we delete that. Okay, and this we now turn. See, here's the point, right? Right. This thing here is a normal loop, right? But the death is a one-shot thing, okay? So basically, we turn that, because we're going to use it as a one-shot, we're going to create the animation montage, right? Save that. Oh, right, okay. We can drag that in. Save that. Right. Okay. The point being, right, that I'm actually not doing that. But the thing is, you can't fire a montage in the animation blueprint directly, okay? Now, the strange thing is here, that this says loop, but it wasn't looping. Which is fine, but that's a bit strange. Right, I have a behavior tree that is supposed to sheath a weapon. but the NPC doesn't fully put it on his back. He almost gets there but pops his arm up and down. Well, you need to check the animation to see what it's doing, right? And for example, if we look at the animation graph for this, right, you could imagine that sheathing or unsheathing a weapon is basically the same as one of these, like a grazing, right? So this would be sheath weapon, unsheath weapon would be two different things. So in the animation graph, you would look for, you'd have variables set up to say, is sheathed true or false? Right? Maybe I'm forcing it a bit with that analogy, but the best idea is to look at your animation and to look at your animation on its own and see if the animation works fine. Okay? If the animation works fine from that point of view, but when you put it onto your model it's screwy, then it might be something to do with the model or your timing or something else. Okay? Right, so that's working for us. So now what we need to do is go into the farm animals and do the goat. In fact, we don't need to create a montage. All we need to do is go in here, right, delete that, delete that, go in here, copy these, go back into here, paste that, plug that in there, delete that, drag that in there, play that, then that goes in there, save that. I've got to check the door here, that's fine, and that should be us. Now all we need to do now is fix up that other part, right, that we broke, which is fine because we know what the issue is here, right? It was in here, we have to set this up, whatever it is, okay, which is fine. But in the meantime, I'm going to grab a quick cigarette. So guys, if you're enjoying the content, help me out, hit like, subscribe. Check out the description for links to the Groenland Discord and my personal Discord, plus links to my Patreon and my previous game on Steam. I'll be back in a minute, guys. Don't go anywhere. Alright, we're ready to go again. Okay, Storm, I'll see you in 20 or whatever. Right, so we do need to do something with this. Okay, and is our dead animal. Okay. So, if we are setting the item data, we need to delete this. Right. And the thing we need to do here is we were only setting the members in that struct. Okay. So, if we get the item base data, right now, we know that this was just now, at this point, we need to know what this stuff is. So we need to say set members. And then we need to know what we need to actually set. Okay. So we need to know what this is at this point. So we're going to add a breakpoint here. We're going to save that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a very simple one. I'm going to say skin. Right, but I do want to see what this struct coming out is. So, okay. apparently. If we step over, okay, what is this? Right, okay. So at this point we're working with the dead animal, okay? So in here we want to have a look at the dead animal. And here it is. Okay. Now, item data is nothing. Except it's that. Right? Now the interesting thing is we don't have a montage to play. We do have a wildlife data. Right? We do have this drops name thing, but the question is, this has nothing in it. Now there's the interesting part. Okay. I'm guessing I'm gonna guess that we need a montage to play. Okay. It's not the death montage that we need. Although we might. Right, but in our... Right, point here is, in our interactables, right? in our interactable SK, right? We should have a play animation. Okay. So in our dead stag, when we use it in our wildlife data, our wildlife data shouldn't be this. Right? And we should also be checking. Right, I'm going to show you what I mean. This should be item data tables, right? And it's not that one. It's actually in here. If I look at wildlife, right, that ain't gonna work because this actually should not be death montage. It should be skinning montage, right? Because it's actually related to the player and not the animal. Okay, so we should say not death montage. We should say skinning montage. Okay. And then in here, this would be ground. I'm sure it's that's the re-rigged one. That's that one. Okay. Apparently I'm not a very good shot. Right. Resume that. And as I said, I don't think this data is required anymore. And there she goes. there we go. That should fix everything. Now if I go into DT Wildlife and I copy this and then paste it in each of these, because they all use, for these animals, these all use the same one, right? We can, if we get a different one, then we can use that as well. But there we go. We've got this working nicely. Right, so where was I? In the grand scheme of things, I don't remember. Okay, let's do something interesting, shall we? Now, what I was going to do, I'll show you what I mean, right? Is, for example, well, that would have worked as well, right enough. But rather than just pop up, we could have it slide up. And slide down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our widgets here and go to W interact. Okay. Then we are going to basically get this. And we're going to rename it. And we're going to see CP slide. Okay. Then we're going to get CP slide. And we're going to do, we know Y alignment is 0, is 1, right? But what is 0? 0 is, right, so we want that to move from 0 to 1. Okay? So what we can do is we can say just call it slide. Right? Then in here, open this up, go to timeline, track, and we're going to CP slide, and we're going to transform, and we don't want that, we don't want that, we don't want that. Okay, and we don't want that, all we want is Y. and let's say it takes 1.5 seconds. Then we say here it's there, then here right, so this transform, we're going to delete this. We just want the layout data, and we just want the Y. Well, maybe we can't do that, right? But here, right, we're going to go to 1.5 again, and then we're going to add. Then we're going to move it back to here, and then we're going to say 0. Okay, so over the 1.5 seconds it's going to zip up. Okay, so we can save that, and then we can go to our graph and this is on event construct, right? And then so once our thing is built, then we play animation forward, right? And then where is our, we bring in our slide, okay, so now right, we want it to be quicker. Okay, so designer in here, right, do it in a second. So we want that, right, and that ends up being 1. Delete that, delete that, save all that. Okay. Then we just get a feel for how fast we think this should be, right? We want it to be, we don't want it to slow down play. Okay. But we want it to be kind of obvious. Right, delete that, delete that. Save that, press play. Hi, La Casa del Gaming, how you doing? Right, so we're getting our interact menu to animate, okay? So rather than just, at the moment it just disappears, right? Which we're going to fix in a minute. So you can see that it slides up now, okay? There we go. Okay. So, next thing we want to do is do the reverse, right? So, what we actually need here is a new custom event. Hopefully that's better. I've moved the mic a bit closer. Okay, so we're going to do a new custom event. And we're going to say destroy widget. Okay. Now, so the first thing we're going to do is disable input. Okay. Now, I'm not 100% sure if I can actually disable input on this. Well, we can say it is enabled. We can test that out and have a look, right? So what we can do is say in our CP slide, I'm guessing that I didn't make that a variable. Right, so we can save that. Okay, then we can go back to our graph. We can do get CP slide. We can say is enabled. Well, we can say there. We're setting it to false. Then we're going to get our slide animation. Right. Then we're going to be getting, we're going to play in reverse. And then we're going to say remove from parent. Okay. Now, this might still kill it instantly, but we can add a delay in here of a second if we need to. Okay, which is how long the... No, it's actually half a second now, I believe. If we look at our... If we look at our designer, it's half a second, right? So, if we need to do a delay on this, we can. Now, the next thing we need to do is, wherever we show the interact, right, that's not where we wanted to do it. We want to do it here. Go to graph, find results, W interact, hit that. Okay. Now I'm hoping this finds it. Yeah, this is kind of it. Right. So, it's going to be where we do the get all widgets of class, okay? Because that's the one that's destroying everything. Hi, Stormrun. Welcome back. So, basically, what we do here is we say... Was it destroy self? Destroy. Okay, maybe it wasn't. What did I call this? Yeah, it was destroy widget. Okay. So this is the right thing. And this should be... destroy widget. Ah, you've missed a bit, Stormrun. That's not what I'm doing. Ah. Well, that's interesting. Underscore interact. I'm not 100% impressed with this. Destroy widget. Okay, so that should go to there. Now, I might actually put this in an interface because I can. Right, so this is going to work on interactable item, right? So basically this should work with the initial, like this log and this fire and stuff like that. It's not going to work on the dead animals until we change it. Right, so there it goes away. And we are not playing that. Well, that's interesting. Let's see if it's hitting that code or not, shall we? It is, you know. Ah, right, okay. Remember how I said I maybe needed a delay of a second or half a second to let it play out? That's the problem here, right? So I just need to do delay. And I'm wondering, not to worry. We know it's going to be 0.5 seconds anyway, so sod it. I'm just wondering if you can maybe it's, we want this. Yeah, let me have a look at that. Oh, there, it's finished. Yeah, we could use that. Right, let's try that. I've never used this one before. This is how you learn, guys. Right, so we just play this in reverse. Right, and then when it's finished, we do that. I've never used this node before. Right, there we go. So we can play that. You can see our thing sliding up. And we probably want to disable that. And okay. I'm wondering. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, you can do it in animation blueprints as well for actual animations rather than like in here. You can basically set this, the play rate to -1 and it'll play in reverse. Right? So basically if you wanted it to get up from death in the opposite way, then you just set that to -1. So you can do that as well in here. Slightly different way of doing it, but effect is the same. Right, so basically in our destroy widget, the question is, are we getting here? Yeah, that's one of the issues with Unreal Engine. There's 150 ways to do everything. Which can lead to a bit of confusion. Right. So that's never hitting. Okay. Now, the enabled is going to work, but I'm not. I don't understand what you're saying. Right, slide, play, in reverse. Right, and we're just going to set it to 0.5 seconds, and then I'm thinking that it might be something to do with the fact that I've set it to disabled. Okay. The thing is, I don't want the player to be able to still interact with it at this point. Right? So basically when it starts disappearing, it's inactive. Right? But what I don't want to happen is for it to go grey, right? So I might need to do some more coding on that and just basically set a disabled here, you know, a global variable, and then basically all the buttons are disabled at that point. Well, you don't need to do that. All you need to do is add a breakpoint. If it never hits the breakpoint, you didn't get there, right? So if it never hits this breakpoint, I'm never getting here, right? So I know there's the set enabled is screwing us, right? So it did hit here. With this. But I don't think it was hitting it with the other one. Right? Now, oops, escape that. What we want to do here is probably not set this. Right? Oh yeah, which reminds me. We need our delay back. Right, so delay. This isn't really that important anyway, it's just a little cosmetic thing I was doing just for a laugh. It's just these little flourishes that sort of finish the game, or not finish the game off, but give it that little bit more sort of polished look to it. Okay. So, I mean, the point is here, if we slide up, then we should slide out. There we go. Right. There we go. Works as treat. Okay. We still can hide our thingy. Interestingly, we've still got food here. See how we're right? I don't know if they've been deleted or not, and I need to check what's going on with them. Right, but this food, and this is because we don't have this row. Right, I don't know why it's got all those issues in it, but anyway. Right, data tables. Interactable items. It's number 4. If I brought them in off my tool, it would be fine, I believe. Save that. I'm going to do a save all at this point as well. I don't think, yeah, that's going to come up. So what we actually need to do here is delete that, bring up our helper, click on that, create our interactable. That's going to set it up for us. Do the same thing there. That'll do us. Save current. Back to your content browser. Press play. And there we go. Now the interesting thing was, we're going to have to fix something here, right? Because when I was pressing the movement buttons here, well, decided to work there. When I was hitting the okay, so basically okay, it works on the right and forward, it doesn't work on the other ones. So basically the reason for that is the pawn input, I think I've got it is greater than 0. What I need it is not equal to 0. Okay? So we have to go to our input and then our move forward. Right? And then this, we have to say equals, and we say not equal to 0. Okay, so you're allowed to go minus, which will give us our left movement, right? And then we duplicate that, and what's, don't know what that is. Okay. There we go. So now we should be good. Okay, so if we press left or back, you can see we get up. Let's test that again. We press back, we get up. Cool. There we go. So I think I'm going to leave it on that one, guys. Right, I need to think of something for us to work on tonight. I'll be back at 8 PM. So if you've enjoyed the content, hit like and subscribe. Check out the description for links to the Discord, both for the game and my personal one, plus my Patreon and my previous game on Steam. So thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you tonight at 8 PM. Bye bye for now.